from the sky as if thrown from Mars. Hold me tight, please don't let me down, 'cause we'll start falling, falling, falling towards the ground. We'll start falling, falling, falling. 'Cause we'll start falling, falling, falling. 'Cause we'll start falling.
Driving round with my baby, top drops and raindrops, motion got me all faded. My heart got me going all crazy, and I won't be walking away. Yeah, New York in the sunshine, I'm a fool, yeah. I got my love blind, and ooh yeah, got my heart out, and it's covered in gold, like moonlight over Hollywood, and it's cool, yeah, 'cause you know it's good, oh baby. Never get old. Tell me your favorite song, I'll put it on repeat. I could wait for you forever, through the storms or any weather. Yeah, you're like New York in the sunshine, I'm a fool, yeah. I got my love blind, and ooh yeah, got my heart out, and it's covered in gold, like moonlight over Hollywood, and it's cool, yeah, 'cause you know it's good, oh baby. We'll never get old. Driving round with my baby, top drops and raindrops, motion got me all faded. My heart got me going all crazy.
All right, welcome back to another live stream. It's kind of just a late night one. I don't really expect this one to really pop off very much, if at all, really. Just figured I would do one for people who just happen to be up late. There's a bit of a disaster behind me, so pay no mind to all this back here. Just hanging out and talking to you guys tonight on this Friday evening, or if you're in the other time zones of the world, Saturday. Anyway, guys, welcome back to the live stream. My boy 8-Bitter, as always, the true OG in the chat already. Howdy, what's up, buddy? And yeah, it has been quite the week, and I've done a lot behind the scenes to kind of perfect the GTI a little bit. I found out a lot of stuff. I have done a lot of research. We wasted an entire afternoon on Sunday trying to fix the car's limp mode issue. And while it hasn't gotten in limp mode since, I've only driven it sparingly. Today actually was probably the most I've driven it all week, and that was just, 30 minutes at a time. I've done 1 watt pull in it since we tried to fix it on Sunday, and it did not triplet mode then, but I expect it to because nothing has really changed at all, and so I'm just kind of doing a lot of research and just kind of trying to learn more, and I think we may be on to it now. I mentioned not only on Instagram, but on a post here as well that I made a switch in tuning. Those who've been watching for a little while may know this car, my GTI, is tuned by HPA. I'm actually going to be moving over to EQT to tune the car. And while a lot of people may find that kind of reckless and ridiculous, it's a really long story. And the last thing I want to do is make HPA sound like, they're terrible. But I will say that my experience has not been like 100% flawless, and it's definitely like a don't meet your heroes moment, as it just wasn't really what I would say is a 5-star experience. I mean, it was still good. My time with the tune with their tune in my car was great up until recently, which is why I've wound up moving away from them. As well as just the advantages of using an access port. I don't need to have VCDS for everything. I do happen to have VCDS, so it's not that big of an issue, or VADCOM, or whatever you want to call it. But I'd prefer to have most of the functions I need out of just the programmer itself, and that is where the access port comes in. I'm a notable criticizer of Cobb. I'm not their biggest fan by any means. Project Greenspeed really screwed over a lot of enthusiasts. As well as just, their own OTS maps are, from what I understand, for certain platforms, not the best. I hear that GTIs, Audi A3s, the 2OT VW platform, as well as like Subarus and stuff, they just don't really last for long on Cobb OTS maps. But thankfully, since I'm running through EQT, the only thing Cobb related is the access port itself doing its thing. I'm going to be selling off some of the stuff I have through HPA. The downpipe, of course, is staying on the car because it's one of the very few catted downpipes I've ever come across with a car. And I do intend to stay catted on the car. 1, for emissions reasons, and 2, for sound. Is I really don't like these cars when you're catless and, free flowing. There's too raspy. It's too tractory. So we'll be keeping the stock downpipe on the car. Or not the stock, the catted downpipe I have on the car. That's probably one of the only things left over from what I will call the HPA era. On the a lot of people are probably going to say it was dumb because I already had effectively the same tune on the car, just through a different provider. But I, for one, think that the tune is probably the issue, and I haven't been able to get it ironed out, unfortunately. And the issue I had is that having a GTI is surprisingly different from a Golf R, so there's lots of things that they're learning about as well up there. So. At least from what I understand, because of the differences between the two cars and the differences between the two turbos and all that stuff. I don't want to say HPA is terrible because they do great stuff, especially in the VR6 world, but I just think that for a novice like me, EQT would probably be just a better source to go with right now. Obviously, of course, HPA is great. Definitely still give them a chance, especially for those of you that don't live in an emissions county, which is another primary reason why I made the switch. Where I live, we have to have an OBD2 test. We don't have to have a physical car inspection or anything like that some northern states do, like I think Pennsylvania and Virginia. But we do have to have just the OBD test to pass emissions here, or where I live in Georgia specifically. Most counties in Georgia don't require emissions. I just happen to live in the ones that does. And with the HPA tune, I couldn't pass because it was throwing too many readiness codes, so I switched to the stock tune to pass. But with the EQT tune, due to Project Green Speed, I'm not going to have to worry about that anymore, which is probably one of the driving things that got me to do the switch. Outside of that, I mean, the power level's going to remain the same. The car is probably going to be, if it's any faster, only marginally. I may gain like a couple of horsepower out of the deal, but I'm not really expecting it to change much at all, which is fine because I prefer kind of the power band it's at right now. I think it drives so good as it is in terms of the power band. So I'm not necessarily entirely interested in changing that. I think that in terms of the power level and stuff like that, I'm pretty happy where it sits. I mean, I may eventually do like an IS-38, like I said in my last video. Or, if I ever get ballsy enough to jump to a Vortex XL or something like that through EQT, maybe. But I think I'm probably going to stick to, at the biggest, the IS-38 because I don't want to, push 1 billion horsepower to front-wheel drive car. It's just not smart. It's not the best for the drivetrain. So I kind of want to keep it kind of balanced. And I think that building a absolute crap ton of power out of that car is terrible for front-wheel drive in general, trying to balance it with handling. So, about OBD2, my truck threw its first CEL in the 3 years I've owned it. See, that sucks, dude. I hope you get it fixed. I hope it's nothing crazy. It's really annoying to deal with because it's just like, I mean, it does its job. It's meant to tell you that something's wrong, but it still sucks to see it. It's still not fun. I remember the first time I ever saw the check engine light on the Sport Track when I had it, so it was jarring. And I compare the issue I'm dealing with a lot to an issue I had with the Sport Track. A lot of you who've been subscribed for a long time may remember my misfire saga from like 2018. I went through several months of having random misfire codes on that truck, and I could never solve it. I spent months chasing this issue down, and I didn't change how I drove it. I still beat the brakes out of it all the time. One, because I kind of had to because it was so slow, but that's just how I drove back then. I was a lot more aggressive on cars than I am now, which is ironic considering I have a car that's twice as fast. And eventually I changed the air filter out just on a whim. I was like, maybe that could be the issue because I didn't think that filter was sealing properly. And sure enough, I put a Spectra filter in, which I know is still also not the best quality. Cleared it right up, and I didn't have an issue with it. And so I'm comparing this issue a lot to it because it's a really annoying issue that this car has that otherwise doesn't necessarily affect it. I mean, it literally only does it whenever I'm under high load in a higher gear. Like when I'm in third or fourth gear, it tends to trip it most often. But I feel like in a lot of ways it's very similar because it's a really annoying issue that doesn't necessarily make the car undrivable, but I feel like it's something so minor that it's tripping it, and all I got to do is just correct that minor issue, and we'll be good to go. Currently, what I'm thinking I'm going to do is probably tomorrow I'm going to take the car slightly apart. I'm going to take the RS3 coil packs off of it and put the OEM coil packs back in, since I just happen to have my stock coil packs still. Apparently, I found this out after the fact and after the install, which I don't know when that video is ever going to go back up, if it ever goes back up again, because of the issues I had with it. And now the fact that I'm ditching the RS3 coil packs, it just kind of makes no sense outside of just talking about the plugs being installed. And that video is almost entirely irrelevant now. So, I mean, there's really not any point of posting it again. So that video probably will stay off for good now. But I'm probably going to put the stock coil packs back in, check the grounds on them, and just kind of keep an eye on it. I'm probably still not going to be terribly aggressive with it until the EQT tune is loaded to the car. As far as the DSG tune, I'm still sticking with that 034 Motorsports tune. I really like that tune. I really like how it didn't change a whole lot from stock, but it still did enough and did what it needed to do to make the transmission handle the higher torque better. But I think for now, I'm going to put the stock coil packs back on, which means I'm probably going to put my engine cover back on as well, just because the only reason I kept it off was because, I had the red coils, and I wanted to show them off. But apparently, aftermarket coil packs are not the move on the GTI platform, especially on the EA888 Gen 3 motors. and you need to stick with OEM coil packs on those. So just for consistency reasons, so I'm just gonna pop those back on some point tomorrow and be back in business. So hopefully that'll help a lot. Of course, I'm also concerned about overboosting issues, so I'm picking someone's brain about overboost and seeing about what I can do to fix that if it comes down to that. Unfortunately, I've never had VCDS on me when it does it, and for some reason, if I check it after the fact, which I've done before, I've actually scanned it, not with VCDS, but done a OBD scan on it. There's a standard OBD scan on it directly after it hit limp mode, and it doesn't show anything at all, which is what's concerning. So I'm probably going to data log most of my first drives in it with the EQT tune, and especially when I'm going wide open on it, just to kind of see if I can trip it again and see if it shows up on a data log, and then send it over to them, and they can kind of give me a basic idea. Mainly because having my VCDS set up in the car is just really inconvenient, because it's just like I have to have a laptop with me. I have to, one, trip it in limp mode, and then find somewhere to pull off so I can get my laptop out and scan it. It's very inconvenient, and I think that just doing a data log on the car and sending it in would be better, just so they have a more close idea to get it, to see what's tripping it, and that may help a lot more, and at least in theory on my end, than trying to trip it with VCDS happening to be plugged into the car. I may not even need VCDS to check the codes as long as I have the access port in the car. But I'm trying to limit my issues. I'm trying to really get this car dialed in for Wookiees in the Woods in April. So I've got plenty of time to trace this issue, but it's just trying to get it to do it and, make sure everything's in a good place, as that appears to be my biggest, what's the word I'm looking for, kind of a limit right now. So I'm hoping that I can get that dialed in before April. There's a lot of stuff I want to do to the car before April. I've got a new cosmetic mod on the way. It should have shipped out yesterday, but I don't know for sure. And then I've got my EQT tune comes in next week. And then from there, I'm going to save up and try to get coilovers on the car. I'm going to try to do the rear sway bar, as well as the rear sway bar end links. I'm probably going to do the front end links at a later date, just because the cost of all the suspension garbage. And then I'm going to do brakes because the car needs it. And we are planning to wrap. I am planning to wrap the car at some point. I just need to secure the vinyl and convince Michael to do it. Michael is really not keen on doing it, so I'm trying to convince him to do it, whether that be with monetary or buying him food or something like that. I'm sure if he were here, he would have some sort of very sus comment to make. It's a shame he's not here. He's actually out of town this weekend, so I will not be able to have his humor with me this weekend. Pretty much what got me to buy the EQT tune, though, outside of the other factors I already mentioned, was that I was on my computer in my office at work, and I just was kind of browsing. I've been eyeing IS-38s for several weeks now, and so I was eyeing it again on their site, and they're having their boost weather sale. It's apparently an annual thing they do this time of year. And they were offering, buy the access port, get the stage 2 tune completely for free on top of it. And I was like, heck yeah, that's perfect, because I've been trying to jump ship from HPA anyway. Might as well take advantage of it when it's on sale, and it's way cheaper, because the tune file is like $275 or something like that, $250, $275. So I did that. That's the number one reason why I did it, is I wanted to make sure I was able to get it while it was on sale. I also, and this one was more just for me, and not really something that will help the car, and it's not even related to the car. I bought a Steam Deck, and I've been kind of wanting one for a while, so I wanted to get one and try it out. I've wanted a handheld PC for a while, just to replace the... Sorry, I'm getting spam comments that are irrelevant and need to go, so I'm going to take care of that right now. One moment. Going to... this. Okay, that's dealt with. Thankfully, you guys didn't have to see that. It was advertising inappropriate content, so that's been removed. Anyway, yeah. So let me get back to our chat before all that. A Bitter said it's EVAPs, no biggie. So that's good. That's a fairly easy fix, I would say. So it looks like you'll probably be good to go on that front. Just get whatever issues in the EVAP. Is it like the charcoal canister or something like that? Or something else I'm thinking of in the EVAP system. I can't think off the top of my head. I feel like I had an issue with the Sport Track. I think it was the charcoal canister in the Sport Track that was bad. A lot of things were bad in that truck. That poor thing. Surprisingly, it's still driving. My dad has spotted it a few times. He has spotted it a few times moving out in Atlanta. Someone in Atlanta has gotten a hold of it. So it's moving around out there somewhere. So if you're ever in Atlanta and you see my Sport Track rolling around, be sure to tell me. That's a P0220 code, some sensor. Okay, so that's fairly easy, I would say. So that should be quick and easy fix. So that's good news at least. What was I gonna say? I was talking about something that I got distracted by that bull crap. So I'm completely blanked on what I was talking about. Shoot. But yeah, it's a Steam Deck. So I got the Steam Deck. So I'm gonna have this guy, this black PC over here, that's over here on my TV stand up for sale here very soon, just to try to recoup the money from the Steam Deck. Probably will sell it fairly close to the price I paid for my Steam Deck. I did get the base model one, so it has like little to no storage, but considering my Steam library is a terabyte, I mean, I probably should have gotten the big boy, but I was not comfortable spending that much money on it, and I'm fine with just putting in a 1 terabyte SD card in it and calling it a day. So just to have enough room to put my Steam library. I mean, I'm probably not even going to download most of my Steam library because my Steam library is so small. Like, I really don't have, not so small, but, the amount of games I play in my Steam library are so small. And some of them I only play on my desktop. Like, Automation and Beam are games I only play on my desktop. I think, obviously, I'll put Among Us on it, even though I haven't played it since September of this year, and that was very briefly. I didn't even play online. I was just checking out all that kind of stuff. I don't even know if I'll put Car Mechanic Sim on it, or I might put The Crew on it if it has my cloud save, so I can get that. But I think I'll probably have to download Uplay. I might put Doom on it. I think that might be fun to play, actually, Doom on that thing. Obviously, F122, I just picked that up. That's probably going to go on there. Forza Horizon 5 is definitely going on there, because I just think that's the game to put on there. That's mainly the reason I bought it, was for Forza on the go. And then obviously I have Hot Pursuit Remastered and Heat. Those will go on there. And probably Pico Park, which I've played a handful of times. And definitely Rocket League. So definitely all games. And maybe Lego Star Wars for that matter too, because I mean those are all games I need to play more. I mean that's just a lot of the games I have though. Granted, most of my stuff is on Switch and PC, but we'll play around with it. Yeah, Heat is definitely going on there. Because as long as it migrates my save, that's my issue. So I don't want to have 2 different saves of that game, because that's not a game I could really. I haven't played it enough to want to play it twice. It's one of those games that I like to play once, but I can't like sit there and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play through it twice. It's a great game to play twice. So I'll probably leave Need for Speed Heat on there, and just as long as it migrates my save. I'm putting Hot Pursuit Remastered on there too. I've played very little of Hot Pursuit Remastered, like genuinely. How much have I actually put into it? 2 minutes. So I pretty much pull it up to the menu, and that's really all I've done so far. I think definitely when Unbound comes out, that's another one I'm going to put on there. My thing is, why don't they make like a new Underground? Like that was probably one of the most popular games they had. I mean, maybe Unbound's meant to be a spiritual successor to Underground, much like Most Wanted wasn't, but I feel like Unbound's going to be like a successor to Underground in a lot of ways. Heat kind of had that vibe to it, I would say. I think Heat had a lot of Underground vibes to it. But I think, honestly, though... No, I think 2015... Used to be 2015 had, like, the most Underground kind of vibes. I don't get why people hate that game. I love that game. That's one of the few games I could play twice. It's like The Crew. I beat The Crew twice. The original The Crew. I haven't beat The Crew 2 because I just... Compatibility's BS on these things. The thing that sucks, though, is I have the Windows CD version of Grand Theft Auto 5, which is a game I play rather religiously. I go through phases with it. Well, I'll have times where I'll play it nonstop, and then I won't play it for a while, and then I'll play it nonstop for several weeks, and I won't play it for a while. And the issue is, since the Steam Deck runs Linux, I'm not going to be able to make use of that DVD copy because that's strictly for Windows. So I don't know what to do on that front. I may just not be able to play it on there, which sucks because I love GTA and I would not mind taking it with me on the go. That's a game I just really enjoy. Granted, I don't play story mode. I only play online. So I don't know how that would work when I'm on a road trip, considering I don't have online on a road trip. Definitely going to put my emulators and stuff on there. I have way too much fun with those. So, also, for those who are watching this either now or in the archives and don't know about my second channel that I do gaming videos on occasionally, I will be linking it in the chat for you guys so you guys can go and subscribe to it. Because I don't talk about it a whole lot, but it's now in the chat for you guys to see. And I'm going to pin that so now it's up there. It's neato. But that is my second channel. It's where all my gaming content goes. The 5% of gaming videos I've ever made. I did a full GT4 Let's Play on there recently. I did very recently, a Gary's Mod Nextbot Chase, which I don't. If you guys are on TikTok, you've probably seen Nextbot Chase at some point. It was a lot of fun. Me, Michael, and Hayden had a lot of fun with it. I think we haven't gotten to play with Ron yet on that one on video. I've got another of those Nextbot Chase videos I can edit, so that might be something I post on there soon. But most of the time, it's racing games and Pokemon. I mean, you all know me. Those are my two bread and butter games. It's got my PC build on it, so if you guys are curious about the PC that this is running on, the stream is running on, that build series is in there. Trying to see what else I've got in here as well. Of course, my Gran Turismo 4 Let's Play. All the videos when I had my Mac, for that brief time that I had a Mac that I was running this channel off of. You guys can see that and literally me hacking Windows onto it, upgrading that. It was a fun build. That is actually, I think, the most popular video on that channel is when I installed Windows 10 on it. I do retro stuff over there. It's definitely, if you're into gaming, I don't post to it often, but I definitely think you guys should check it out because when I do post to it, it's great. There's pictures of my cars and Gran Turismo up there as the cover photo and stuff like that. I need to do more videos with that. I think that'd be a fun video or game to do videos with. Avatar said, for some reason I can get GTA 5 to transfer to my Series X or my Xbox One, but it's not optimized for it. It's only 30 FPS and crap graphics. My brother was telling me about that until they come out with the update path for next gen, the next gen, that it's going to be stuck in the original Xbox One and PS4 kind of settings, which of course is not going to be optimized at all for the Series X. My brother has a Series S and he's running to that, so that definitely. It's just waiting on Rockstar to do the update path on that. But as it sits right now, that's kind of the best you can do, which is unfortunate because obviously I would much rather have the better graphics. I can't talk. I'm on PC when it comes to GTA. I mean, I have GTA on everything at this point. If they've released it for a console, I have it at this point. Because for some reason I have all three of the, at the time, current gen consoles, and I have a copy of it on PS3. I have it on PS3, on our PS4 upstairs, but not my PS4. I have it on Xbox, and I've got it on PC. That's a game for some odd reason I have an unreasonable amount of copies of. That's a game I used to do videos with on another gaming channel that was meant to mimic Sao Paulo 4 with GTA cars, and I did it for about a year or so, and then I quit doing those because they just didn't really get me excited anymore. But yeah, the second channel that I have that I linked in here already, that's just really fun. It's a really fun channel. I've been working on it for several years now. I did stuff with Hayden back when we used to collect retro stuff like crazy. Which is something I wish we could get back into. It's just really expensive hobby. It's a really expensive hobby. When you're building cars, it kind of makes it hard to do. And there's a lot of stuff I want to bring back over there. So I'm gonna try to do more over there, and maybe post about some ROM hacks I've been building on Pokemon. But there's a 14-part GT4 Gran Turismo 4 Let's Play over there. If anyone is interested in that. Yeah, and then there's another YouTube channel project I have barely spoke about, and because I haven't gotten to work on it. It's called The Automotive Historian. It's meant to be kind of a video series. It's meant to be a channel that just goes into the history of games, or not games, but cars, and talks about where they came from and where they are today. I was planning on the first episode being either on the Mustang or the Beetle. Those are both cars with very interesting histories. The Beetle especially so. So a lot of people know that backstory. But I'm gonna probably start working on that at some point in the future. It's just not one I've been active on right now. And then, I mean, I have too many YouTube channels set up. I'm only active on 1 to 2 of them at a time. Yeah, so we're gonna try to do that. Yay, the Mustang. Yeah, I just feel like the Mustang's got such an interesting history that it makes sense that it would be a video on an automotive historian channel, like an automotive history documentary kind of thing. I think it's just a car that's deserving of it. And I think a lot of the JDM icons, if I ever get around to working on that channel, a lot of the JDM icons will get featured on that. The Supra, the Skyline, all that kind of stuff. A lot of the more interesting stuff. S2000s, I mean, that car's got quite the history. Pretty much anything built by a lot of the Japanese ones. Fun fact, the Probe is supposed to replace the Mustang. Yeah, I learned that a couple years ago, and I was like, I cannot believe Ford thought that was a good idea. Like, yeah, let's take our rear-wheel drive V8 car and replace it with a front-wheel drive 4-cylinder. Like, that's a great idea. Like, no. That's not how that works. That's like trying to replace the Beetle with like the Volkswagen Lupo. If you guys have ever seen a Volkswagen Lupo overseas, they're tiny guys. I adore them. I really wish we got them here. That and the Polo. I think both of those would have been cool cars to have here. I'm curious how old Lupos are now if I could import one, because I love those cars. And I know a lot of people hate them because I wouldn't say they're the best looking cars in the world. But let's see when they were built. When were they introduced? 98. Dang. I'm going to have to wait a couple years. They even did a Lupo GTI. It had a 6-speed manual, had a 1.6 turbo motor. I think it was turbo. And it was only available in 2000. It was introduced in 2000. That's pretty bad. 0 to 60, 7.8 seconds is pretty slow. I would not mind a Lupo, though, just because they're so funky. I mean, like, it does not look like they're turbocharged. Huh. Interesting. Okay. 123 horsepower. Yeah, I doubt that's turbocharged, but that's there. It had a diesel 3-cylinder, though. That's kind of interesting. And it was produced up until 2005, and it was replaced with a Fox, which is might as well just been the Lupo again. It's a little guy. I like the Lupo a lot, though, for some reason. That's a car that I played through a lot of Gran Turismo games with, especially the Cup cars. Those are fun. But I think what replaced that? They had the Polo in South America, the Up. I would not mind an Up GTI. I think that'd be so fun. I like the little cars, though. I like those little guys. Cars I wish we got here, the Renault Megane Clio, the GR Yaris, the Fiat Coupe, and the Gen 2 RS. I agree with all of those. I think the Clio would have been, the Clio V6 in particular, that would have been a freaking fantastic car to get here. I love the Clio V6. It's my favorite French car ever made. I know Bugatti's from France, Stru Bugatti's, Clio V6, best French car, hands down. The GR Yaris, I mean, I guess that since we're getting the Corolla, that one kind of falls less down my list, but I would still love to see them here. The Fiat Coupe, no one knows about this car unless you're overseas, and it's depressing. It was a front-wheel drive, 5-cylinder engine that Fiat built, and it was so cool, but for some reason, I think it was turbocharged as well, but for some reason, it just got slept on. I mean, Fiat at the time wasn't even a thing here anymore. They had, ditched the U.S. for quite a while at that point. And of course, the Gen 2 Focus RS. I mean, it's a 5-cylinder. As much as Volvo has been ruined for me, the Gen 2 RS rocking that 5-cylinder was so cool. I really wish they would have kept that going. What I really wish is that VW had stuffed the 5-cylinder in the Golf R. That would have been cool. I get why they didn't, but it would have been cool. What's another one that I wish we got here that we didn't, that isn't one of the obvious ones, like some of the JDM icons? Outside the Clio V6, of course, because I love those cars, dude. I want a Clio V6 pretty bad. And I was looking up recently how much it costs because you know they're getting ready to come up on importation time. You know they're getting ready, you know, here in a couple of years to be eligible for import from overseas. So I was looking on TCV, which is Trade Car View. It's where a friend of Hayden's got his R32 Skyline. He bought it through them. And they had a Clio V6 up there, or I guess it was, what was it called over there? The Lutetia. And it was like 30-something grand. I'm going to look right now just to verify that and hope that they're going to get cheaper in a couple years because I would love to have a Clio V6. I don't know what it is. I adore those things. So Renault. Never mind. I can't find it now. I got to scroll. Renault. I think it was the Lutetia. And we are going to do this. Okay, let's see what we got here. I think 95. I'm going to put it up to 2000 though, just in case. Oops, there's not any in that time frame. Okay. Let's see what we got. Let's see, there's a 2001 2-liter. I'm going to see if I can limit it to V6 cars, but I'm just kind of scrolling through this site right here. I can probably switch over so you guys can see that. I'm probably I should do that since this doesn't show my location like Car Gurus does. Okay, there we go. So let's just scroll through for a second. Here we go. Perfect. Right here, right on the dot. This one's not gonna be legal for a while, but I would love to have one of these. Like, just look at this bad boy right here. So over in Japan, the Clio was called the Lutetia or Lutetia. I don't know how it's pronounced. So someone who speaks French or something like that, or knows these cars can correct that. Of course, for some reason, it's badged as a Clio. But I adore these things. I think the wide body looks good. I think they sound really cool. The fact it's a mid-engine hatchback. I mean, like, look at that. That's cool. You got to admit. The French were bonkers during this time period. And I really wish that this era of European cars, they were so experimental with their projects. I mean, the VR6, this, Audi bringing back the 5-cylinder, like, you know, all of those companies that were experimenting with odd designs would come back because I miss that. I miss when companies were experimental and were willing to try crazy things. I mean, Volkswagen even built a mid-engined W12 powered Mark V GTI at one point, and it used like a bunch of parts from like the Gallardo and the R8, and of course the W12 was pulled directly from a Bentley. I don't think it was the same engine that was in the Phaeton, but it was definitely one of their VW W12s. But I mean, this car's just beautiful. I want one, dude. I would do anything to get a Clio V6 some point in my life. Just no reason to spend 36 grand on a car that old. How do you like Windows 11? I had a rough start with Windows 11. It was a love-hate relationship at first. I tried it out first on this PC behind me, and it was pretty flawless up until I've been having driver issues with it. I think part of it's because it's hooked up to a TV, and part of it is because just crappy AMD graphics card drivers. I've learned that pretty much there's no avoiding driver issues regardless who you go through, because I had issues out the wazoo with my 1050 Ti and my laptop that I used to have. And then I get that's an RX 580, which is about the same tier as a 1060. And it has graphics card issues as well. That's part of the reason why I got the Steam Deck, is so I don't have to worry about that anymore. It takes up less space, and I can sell that and recoup the money. But I got it on my main desktop, which is what this is running. And what I did is I cloned my main hard drive to a solid state, an M.2 drive. And I came with a lot of issues when I first installed it. Because what I did is I cloned the drive, booted it to Windows 10, and then installed 11 from there. And I ran into a lot of compatibility trouble. A lot of the apps I had weren't working, most notably Premiere, which really slowed down production. I think I edited one video on that, and that was awful, considering that does not have the horsepower to edit, 4K video into 1440p. Like this one does, that is off to the side. But for some reason I had a random Windows update one night, and then everything works now. Everything works as intended. Only thing that sucks is alt-tabbing out of Rocket League crashes it. So that's just like the weirdest thing that I've run into with it. But outside of that, I really like Windows 11. It's very much a smartphone generation type thing, and they've added a bunch of nice new features with it. Like I'll see if I can minimize all of this here and show off some of it, I guess. Even though I know this isn't like the gaming side of things, so I've got my desktop here. They added the new volume slider. You guys might be able to see at the bottom here, which is what I'm currently using to mess around with the volume. And then they added a new folders feature to the start menu. So I've got all of my most used stuff here. I got my Minecraft here, my GeForce Experience, my copies of Horizon 4 and Motorsport 7 are here. All the stuff from my tuners are here. Beam and Peace hanging out here. Premiere and stuff like that are here as well. So all my main softwares are here. And I really like this feature a lot. So that's something I'm really thankful they added with that update. Outside of that, I really like Windows 11. Nice background, thank you. That was a cool picture. It's actually one of the wallpapers on my smartwatch as well. Apologies for the voice crack there. It's one of the backgrounds on my smartwatch. So I have pretty much all of my background photos on my smartwatch are photos from our Tail of the Dragon trip. So I don't know if you guys will be able to really see it because it wants to hide. It's there. I don't know if you guys can really see it. It might turn off. But I know it's definitely dim. I don't know why it's dim. Why the display's so dim. So, that's weird. But, yeah. I have, like, all my Tail of the Dragon photos from when we went on it. And, I'm ready to go back. That was such a fun trip. It's by far my favorite video. I'm going to do another top 10 video for all the videos I've done this year. And that's more than likely going to be in the top 2. I don't know which one will be at yet. I don't want to spoil that video months from now, but I think it's going to be in the top 2 at least. Granted, this year has been kind of slow on crazy videos. I think I've not really uploaded a lot this year, if I'm honest. I'm looking through right now to see what kind of crazy stuff we got up to this year. Of course, we had the first start of Michael's car when he got the new motor built. We had Clean Culture this year. Of course, all the videos on the GTI. From the start to the finish. Let's see. I'm trying to see what else. I mean, we got seeing the music in person. All the installs we've done. We did the Northwest Georgia Volkswagen meet. We did all this stuff with the tune. The VW Caffeine and Octane recently. That was a recent one that I really loved. That's a really good video too. It's really long, but I think it was a really good one. We had, revealing Hayden's Mazda. We've had a lot of pretty solid videos this year, but I don't really know if any of them really stick out as top videos, So we'll see. We'll see whenever we get to that point what we'll hold off as the top video of the year. And it's really more than likely going to be between the Caffeine and Octane and the Tail of the Dragon trip. So that's probably going to be between the two of them. Unless I do something absolutely bonkers this year. Like within the next month or so. Which typically this time of year, there's not really a whole lot going on. Car meets are pretty much, out of commission. And typically, granted, I'm not going to local meets anymore anyway. I talked about that briefly, I think last live stream. I don't go to local meets anymore. I keep forgetting to text my girlfriend back. I got desktop audio turned off. So, well, no, it's on. I'll probably hear my phone dinging every once in a while. Text my girlfriend back. Whoops. Make sure she's okay. Yeah. But, I want to go back. That was a good trip. I want to go back to the Dragon so bad. I think especially after I get the car dialed in properly with all the suspension stuff we're going to be doing soon. And getting the tune dialed in and not having to worry about limp mode anymore. I think we'll have plenty of fun up there next time. I'm trying to convince my dad to go with me, so that might be part of the next video. My dad gets to drive the Dragon in my car. We made some friends up there that I'm hoping we'll be able to meet up with. And I'm hoping Mr. 8-Bitter in the chat will hopefully be able to come up there with us next time we go and hang out with us. I've been thinking about finding local meets in the summer to go to in the summer, but I just want to stay away from the takeover crowd. Unfortunately, most of the summer meets are takeovers. I mean, and nowadays it's just really hard to find a chill meet that is a proper meet, actual car people. I'm not negative about the car community for the most part, but I am negative about takeover people. Screw takeovers. Screw the people that go to them. Screw the people that promote them. But like, especially here in Atlanta, it's just such a common thing. There's so many of them. It's ridiculous. So that's my number one reason. I've been to a couple local meets in the GTI since I got it, and they keep getting shut down. And they, either that or I just don't feel comfortable. I feel like that a takeover is going to break out, and so I leave before any sort of issues I think could arise. I've been to one recently where I felt very uncomfortable being there, where I thought, this is probably not the best place to be for a car meet. So I wound up leaving and going home. But I mean, I really just don't go to local meets anymore because they just keep getting ruined. Our local car scene is mostly trucks, and they decide to go to meets and rev up their trucks, do burnouts, try to do donuts, and race in the parking lot, race on the street right outside the meet. It ruins our stuff. I've heard many people in my area talking about how, unfortunately the truck crowd around here has ruined our meets. So it's unfortunate. You think you're going to Gatlinburg in June for vacation. The Volkswagen event is in April. So if you want to go to that too, hit me up. You can. I've known you for several years now. I'm comfortable with you coming and staying in a cabin with us for a little while. You can hang out with us and drive the Dragon in your Mustang or something like that. We're there if you want to. I haven't gotten everything squared away on that. I was really hoping I could get a cabin in Fontana for that, so I can be on site for Wookiees in the Woods. But unfortunately, doesn't look like I'll be quite so lucky on that one. It looks like they've pretty much all booked out already. So to just hope I can get some nearby, which really sucks because I was looking forward to staying on site there. Oh well, though, it happens. It's expensive, so we'll see. I'm trying to get a good sized group going up there this year. I want to go with obviously the friends we made up at Tail of the Dragon when we went back in August. They all had GTIs, so it'll be nice to have some more VW people. I've got a friend that's down here that has one. My cousin's got a Passat, so get a bunch of the VWs together for that, and then hopefully meet new friends up there. I want my dad to go. Obviously, I want the guys to go. I know they don't drive VWs, but we now have 3 Speed 3s in the group now, so there's a third one that we haven't talked about yet because it was a recent addition. It's not mine. I don't really have much interest in owning one right now. I like them, but it's not a car I have much interest in owning. I'm kind of more of a Euro guy, so they're great cars. I love them. I love Speed 3s, but it's just not a car I have interest in owning at this moment. But so it's not mine, but we do have a third one in the group now as well. So now we have 3 out of 4 people in our closest group that have them. So we'll talk about that car later, though. That car will get a full-on reveal coming very soon. We'll do a full reveal with that car. It's a Copart project too, so it's going to be a really fun one because it's a car getting a second chance at life. So that's always what you want to see. It looks like it needs some help, and when unfortunately Michael's away, so he hasn't been able to help our friend with it too much. I'll just tell you it's Ron. For those who watch my channel and have seen Ron before, he's got the Veloster N, and I've driven and ridden in on video. He did some runs with Michael in a video I did, and I've known him for probably over a year now, and he's obviously in my close tier of friends. He also just picked up a Speed 3, so now he's got 3 cars, and much like Hayden, and I'm lagging behind a little bit. I've only got 1 car. Michael's got 2. Ron and Hayden both have 3. I'm lagging behind. I need to just go start buying stuff. I'm thinking about starting up a YouTube channel on the Mustang. Do it, dude. Come on. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. I think it'll be good. I think that'd be good. Mustangs are so popular too. I mean, I feel like you'd probably pass me in subscribers quick, fast, and in a hurry. Like I think you would have no problem with that. We're gonna do a video of Ron's new Speed 3 though at some point because it is quite the car. I mean, it's got so many added on parts that he didn't expect, I didn't expect, Michael didn't expect, none of us expected it. So we're gonna do a video of them at some point though in the car. Like I said, it's a Copart car, so it's not technically street legal. So who knows when we'll get to do a video on it? I think it'll definitely be a fun video though to see that car in action because Ron bought quite the car. Unfortunately, it needs some work though to get it dialed in and drivable properly, as it's just kind of in. I mean, it was crashed obviously, so it's not in the best shape in terms of cosmetics and performance and all that stuff. But Ron, knowing him, he's going to have that thing running in no time, and it's going to be ready to roll once again and get a second chance at life. Only thing I will say about it, because I don't know if Ron wants to wait. He's not in here right now, I don't think, unless he comments in the chat or texts me on Snapchat right now or something like that. I don't know if he wants me to reveal the biggest secret he found on the car. But I guess I'll talk about it. I'll just give you a hint. It has something to do with the turbo. And it's not factory. It's not a factory turbo car. So, yeah. We'll do a video with Ron on his speed, though, at some point in the future. We're going to hope that he can get it cleaned up and ready to go for, getting it road legal again and drivable. Even though he was driving it at some point, I think, in this neighborhood. That'll be fun to see, though. I think that'll be a fun project, and I'm excited to see him mess around with it. And hopefully we'll see it in action here pretty soon. I wish he was in here with us. I had talked to him about hopping on Discord with me earlier, but he never responded to me. I may message him again here and see if he wants in on this. I'm going to text him and see, or message him on Discord. Now, if I could type. I have a really hard time typing on this. I don't know if it's because the keyboard is 90 degrees right now or something, but for some reason my brain just does not work with doing that. Message Ron and see if he wants to pop in here and we can talk about his speed. Of course, we wrapped his Nissan's 350Z, so that's another thing. That's a video I actually need to edit. Said he's shy. Come on, Ron. Come on. Dude is mad sauce, but it's funny. It's fine. Hey, Ron.
What's up?
So now joining me is good old Ron, who is, like I said before, the new owner of a Copart Speed 3 build, which is going to be coming to a YouTube channel near you very soon. And so we're going to talk about that car since I've been kind of talking about it lightly. Let's see if I can make sure. Can you speak real quick?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, you're perfectly audible. Wonderful. Hopefully y'all can hear him. A-Bitter said what's up. I don't know if he's been on here with us before with you, but he's a long-time subscriber of mine, so he's been here for a long time. Just picked up a 5.0 himself. So I was talking about your secrets on the speed that you found out through the previous owner. I've talked about it briefly. You want to talk about the build list on this car that you have somehow scooped up a built car?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know like every single thing about it just yet, but all I know it has a upgraded Garrett turbo on it.
Right.
It's straight piped, so it's got an aftermarket downpipe. I'm not sure which one. Has coilovers on it, sway bar, some sort of blow off valve, and a short ram intake. So it's pretty zippy.
Right. I obviously know, like we were talking about before. I mean, you're not entirely able to go full to redline right now because of some sort of tune or air related issue, probably. Did you happen to get Hayden's intercooler put on already?
Yeah, he gave me his intercooler, and like immediately when I put it on, like the car idled better because with the cracked intercooler that came on it, it was just like struggling to keep idle, and the moment I put his on, it idled almost like perfectly.
Right.
And I think what's going on with I guess the rev limiter issue is like a throttle body. It needs a throttle body relearn, I think.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try doing that tomorrow. I'm gonna wash it up and then clean the throttle body and disconnect the battery and all that and like file away a relearn process for the car that I'm seeing that on YouTube. A lot of people are saying you need to have the throttle body get relearned. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the wreck that it was in jostled something up, and maybe that might be part of it. The question is it clean title? Are you able to technically drive it right now? Or
I
is it
can't drive
salvage?
it right now. No, it's got
Uh,
it's got a salvage title, but I mean my Z had a salvage title when I got it, and I just fixed it up and took it in to get inspected, and they rebuilt the title, and I was able to get it tagged. So that's what I'm gonna do with this one.
yeah, I mean, it looks like you don't have a whole lot of work to do. Oh, Ron's now in the YouTube chat as well.
Yeah.
If you guys want to go follow his channel, go do that. Hopefully, he's going to post some stuff with this car, all three of his cars for that matter, because you haven't done a video on your Z yet either. Now that we finished up
Yeah.
the wrap on that, and I need to actually upload my video on it, which was very early in the process without the car being finished, and then maybe why I haven't done it yet. Um, but Ron actually made use of my old vinyl wrap that I had for the Sport Track, which some of you guys may remember me buying. I don't know how long some of you guys have been subbed. I know 8-Bit probably has seen it. But he actually made use of that vinyl wrap, and it's on the car, and it looks fantastic. He was in showcase over at Z Nationals at Z1 Motorsports with it, and it looks great. Excuse me, choking on my own spit. I do that sometimes for some reason. And of course, Ron's got the Veloster N, which is just a really fun car overall. I mean, that is just, a baller car. And so you guys should definitely go follow his YouTube channel so you guys can stay up to date with him and what he's done on his cars. And of course, maybe he'll post some stuff with this Speed 3 build because it is quite the car. And so our next question is, what drew you to getting a Speed 3? Because I'm curious about that for my own stuff, but maybe because it just it came out of nowhere. Like you were just like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm bidding on this Speed 3. We'll see how this goes.
Well, I'm gonna blame Michael and Hayden for this one, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
I liked Michael's. I mean, I've always liked Speed Threes when I had the Kia. Like, I knew when I seen one, I'm like about to get gapped. But because I know they're fast, and so I've always liked them. Just like a long time ago, and then when I met Michael and I took a ride in his, I was like blown away, and I was like, dang, I want one of these. And then Hayden got one. And then it was just kind of cool that they both pulled up with one. So I was like, dang, I kind of want one for real. And then I
Right.
seen this one on Copart, and I was like, ooh, this one looks really nice. And then and it didn't look like too badly damaged. And that's usually what I go for if I'm buying something off of Copart. Is just one that's not so totaled, kind of
Right.
like the Z. And
Right.
then it makes it an easy fix, easy rebuild, and I can get it on the road quickly. So
Right.
Yep.
And now here's the kicker. How much did you spend on the Speed 3?
So I won the bid for 2,500, but it was an on approval bid. So basically, the seller had to agree to it, and then the seller wanted their minimum bid was 7,200, and then they countered my bid at, I think the first counter was 30. No, it was 30. Yeah, 3,600, and I denied it and just stuck with my 2,500. And then they counterbid it again for 3,300, and then I stuck with my bid for 2,500, and then they finally just took my bid. So I won the auction for 2,500, and then after Copart fees and all that, out the door the car was $3,400.
That is not bad at all. I mean, for a built car with only marginal fixes to be done.
Yeah.
So 8-Bitter just asked, so weird question, is the Speed 3 the same platform as the Focus ST because they share some similar components or at least a related platform? I believe they are very similar. From what I understand, especially in the Gen 2 speeds, a lot of the parts actually transfer over between the two. I don't know about all of it. I think some suspension components trade off between. That'd be a better question for Michael. I wish Michael was in here. He could tell us. But yeah, some parts do trade between the two, and oddly enough, the 2.3 and the Mazda is not related to the 2.3 EcoBoost. It's related to the 2.0 EcoBoost, which makes no sense. That the Focus ST had a smaller engine, but it's more close to the Speed 3. But yeah, Ron just picked that up. It's gonna be super fun. I know you looked at a bunch of other cars too. You were looking at a 350Z Nismo, which I know was kind of on your dream list.
Yeah.
So what happened with that? Like, I know obviously you didn't wind up buying it because, you got the speed. But
Well, it's kind of like, I mean, it's still not off the table
Mm.
just yet. I mean, because they actually pushed the bid back to next month, or sorry, next week. So it's actually going on bid next Thursday, or the Thursday coming up rather. So I'm, I don't know. I just kind of fell in love with the Mazda, to be honest. Like once I drove it, I was like, you know what? I might just keep this one because the Z's in New Mexico, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be like on top of whatever the car's gonna go for. It's gonna be about $2,000 to get it shipped over here. And
Right.
I don't have money like that. So
Right.
the bid's already at 2,500 on the Z, and it's still not, it's still almost a week away. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's.
I really think that Z's gonna go for like 8,000
I wouldn't be
or
surprised.
higher.
With being a
Yeah, and that's
Nismo.
gonna be and that's gonna be before fees. So I think if it went for 8,000 after fees, it'll be like
Close to
10
10.
grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to look it up over here off screen for you guys because it shows my location. But I'm going to see how much a running clean title Z Nismo goes for, just to kind of put in retrospect for you
Oh, I
guys.
can tell you that. I already
Yeah,
know that.
they cost a fortune.
Yep. There's
They're
actually one for sale right now on Facebook Marketplace. It's a black one. It's got
right
100,000 miles. They want 34,000.
as an '07.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
It's
it's
on
got wheels.
Copart. Yeah, not Copart. It's on Car Gurus right now. I see it. Five Brothers Auto Sales.
Yep.
Yep, it's on here. It definitely
Insane.
cheap. Not a cheapo car. It is very expensive, especially with the mileage too. But there's one in El Paso, Texas for 19. It's got 140,000 miles on it. But it's just putting it in retrospect. It's a 350Z, so it's definitely aged compared to the 370s Nismos. Which is kind of surprising how they're so expensive still, even after all these years. But
That's because they only made 1,600 of them.
yeah. Question is, so how much are 370 Nismos? Are they the same?
They're probably really close. You can probably get a Nismo 370 for like 40, 42.
That's what I'm saying. Mid to high 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they cost almost the same. I think there's a lot more 370 Nismos though,
There are. Mm-hmm.
because I see 59 of them nationwide, and that's just with only one trim selected. So if I select all of them, got 92 of them for sale in Car Gurus, versus like the 350s, there's like 5.
Yep.
I'm gonna swap back over. There is 4. There's 4 for sale in Car Gurus right now of 350 Nismos nationwide. So definitely a very, very rare car. It's much like the Golf R32 in a lot of ways. Just kind of like a super limited production car that costs an absurd amount of money now. That never made sense to me. I mean, R32. I mean, they were. I know obviously they're the Golf R's equivalent, but man, they make no sense how expensive they are. The Mark IVs are. Like I found one here. It's in Tennessee. It's $32,000 for a Golf from 2004. Makes no sense. I saw a Nismo Sentra in person the other day for the first time. Nismo has gone downhill with that crap. I don't understand why they made a Nismo Sentra and a Nismo Juke. Like, the Z and the GTR make sense. The Juke? Why does that need a Nismo version?
I always wish that they made like a Nismo Maxima when I had a Maxima.
Yeah, I mean, I know they did the Ultima at one point. I think.
Yeah. They had
There's the SCR Spec V.
Yeah.
Kaysen used to have a Sentra SER Spec V at one point. Very briefly. But yeah, it's like one of those weird cars or 2000s, like the 350 Nismos and the Golf R32, stuff like that. They're just they didn't sell for like the amount they sell now, brand new, and now all of a sudden they're just randomly collector's cars out of nowhere, and they command an absurd amount of money online. Before you know it, there'll be a Nismo Ultima, so these people who can't drive will be going even faster. Gosh dang! If it's CVT, yes. There are many. I could go on all day about CVTs. I don't like CVTs very much. Now it's weird though in the Golf's circumstance versus the Z's. The Z's hold their value, like the Nismo versions in particular. Like whether it's 350 or 370, Golf R32s, depending on which gen, they're either very expensive or very inexpensive. The Mark IVs are always in the 30s or in the high 20s, low 30s. Mark Vs are never over 20 grand. Never over 20 grand. It makes no sense. The most expensive one on Car Gurus right now is actually HPA's twin turbo car they built for SEMA and Gran Turismo 4. It's for sale in Washington State right now for $65,000.
Mm.
But it's a twin turbo R32, so if you want it, there you go. And it's immortalized in a video game. But ain't no way you'll see me dropping 65 grand on an 04 Golf. That is for sure. Grant's probably the lowest mileage you can get because it's got 5,000 miles on it. But like Mark 5s, I mean, the most expensive Mark 5 is 24,000 on here. Like, Mark 5s don't hold their value one bit. So if you want a Golf R32, Ron, not terribly expensive, right? I can buy a used GT350 and have 10K left. Do it. What were we saying, Ron?
I said I wish.
Get that VR. Get that VR6. You don't have to deal with a bunch of tuning BS.
Mm.
Ugh, man, that's. I went into that earlier on this stream. It was fun. Let's go. I'm gonna go on Copart right now and see if there are any R32s lying around on there. I'm sure there probably are. I was looking at S4s as well on there recently because I do love the B8 S4. I mean, that supercharged V6 is something else. But let's see. Volkswagen R32. There's a couple on here. What do you think they're going for right now? Current bids?
R32s
Yeah, Golf R32s.
on Copart.
Yeah, all they're Mark 5s. So, we're not looking at any crazy expensive Mark 4s.
I'm thinking maybe. Well, I don't know. I'm not really good with those. For what, like 10?
Most of them, their estimated retail value is between 9 and 14.
Oh, okay. Not bad.
For the Mark 5s. But granted, they never seem to sell for that estimated retail value.
They go for about, I would say, at least half of the retail value.
So yeah, I mean, you could probably scoop one of these for fairly cheap. And I'm kind of tempted at some point in my future to do it. Of course,
your next car better be manual.
That's the issue. Mark 5s only came in DSG.
Oh, don't get it.
R32 Mark 5 R32s only came in DSG. You could swap it, and if I got one, I fully intend to do it. It's just not hard.
You're not.
That's not that hard. I've read. I mean, only that sucks. You got to drop the subframe up front, which appears to just be a thing for Volkswagens. Let's see. This one's got a vandalism title on it. This is an 08. It's over in. Where was this one? I've already lost it. Utah. I'm trying to see the vandalism. It looks like it's fine. I mean, unless someone poured sugar in the gas tank or some stuff like that. I about said some stuff on camera I'm not supposed to say. But it says vandalism, a minor dents and scratches, and it runs and drives. So I don't know if it. I mean, I don't know, but I would do it. I'd buy it. And I could get a Mark IV GTI probably on Copart for cheap as dirt. Do you think that coupe sedans and hatchbacks will make a comeback in the future? As much as I'd like to say yes, probably not. I think that those body styles of car was once they completely get phased out, they're done. The SUVs have kind of won the war, I guess. What vandalism happens in Utah? I don't know. I could make jokes about the fact that it's one of the only states you're allowed to marry multiple people. But I'd rather not get anyone who lives in Utah mad at me. I don't want anybody mad at me, really, but let's see Golf
Specifically
Rs.
Utah.
Hey, now, they ain't that bad. Golf Rs are surprisingly plentiful. Don't know how I feel about that. I'm curious if there's already any Mark 8s hiding on here that have been totaled out. Doesn't look like it. There's a couple that are already going up. There's one that's current bid is $1,500. It's a 2012. It's a flood car.
Those aren't too bad to rebuild. You just gotta hope there's no electrical damage.
Yeah. Now here's what you're gonna like. If I did a Mark 6R, Mark 6Rs only came in stick. They did the polar opposite as the Mark 5s. Only thing is, I would have a very similar engine to what I have now. It's just the older version of my engine on the GTI, which is like the main reason that kind of keeps me from doing it. Because I don't want to effectively have two of the same car, even if the generations are slightly different. Hayden is actually talking to me earlier. His dad found an RS3 on Copart and was trying to convince Hayden to get it.
Hayden can't afford it.
True. Hayden is loaded. Hayden is loaded. Let's see. What's another cool Euro car that you would definitely be able to find and stick on Copart? Because I want to stick with Euro because I'm having a hard time finding anything from any other country that really piques my interest that much.
No, you got to get a Mazda Speed 3.
Nope.
Dang, what are you trying to say?
It's too close to what I already have. That's my issue.
No,
with it.
it's not.
I mean, they make it, but the only difference is it's got a different sounding engine and its stick.
You're actually crazy.
And without building the motor, I mean, it would make only marginally. I mean, it would probably make at most the same power Michael's does, because I think Michael's like at the limit for stock motor.
He hasn't done it. I thought he built his motor up.
He's got head studs and a balance shaft delete, I think, and a lightweight flywheel. I think those are the only things he's got on that motor. I know he's got another one. He's got his old motor that's ready to be built. He just hasn't done it yet.
Does he have an upgraded Garrett turbo?
No, he's got a B&R turbo.
I don't know what the difference is.
Those are more meant specifically for speeds.
I asked this guy which one it was, and he said, I don't know.
I'm guessing it's probably done before he got it.
Probably because he bought the car with the paint job that it had.
Right.
So
let's see. I'm trying to think though. What would be a fun Euro car? M3. I was thinking M3 because I'm willing to bet you could find an E46 or an E92 M3 on here for cheap, especially E92s. E92 M3s just for some reason, just outside of the fact they're horribly unreliable, are fairly popular. Let's see if we can find any manual M3s on here. There's plenty of them, surprisingly. We got E36s. There's a G80 on here already. It's a 2022 on Copart right now. Good gosh. I don't think this shows my... oh, it does show my location. Just going to clear that. I don't want to put my zip code in. I don't want people knowing where I live. Can I put an Atlanta zip code in? I'm going to do that so no one knows where I live. I want to show off this crap of Copart without showing off where I live. I ain't trying to have people know where I live.
Just because they know you live in a certain state doesn't mean anything.
Well, no, it says the city.
Oh.
Oh, it's already got the wrong zip code on it. Oh, well. What does that zip code go to?
Does an 8-bitter know where you live?
No.
Oh.
Huh. Yeah, that's not even remotely the same town. So I'm just going to pop over. Where's my OBS? We'll pop over to this guy. So yeah, look at this. G80 M3 on Copart already. Estimated retail value $86,000. But it's a manual. With 16 miles on it. How
60?
16.
Oh my goodness. That thing probably fell off the truck or something. When it was getting delivered.
I've got the odometer up on screen right now. It probably, judging by the secondary damage being undercarriage, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually fell off the truck.
Yep, that's got to be it.
That sucks. It got built in, the guy who bought it was like, oh yeah, get to my M3, and then it's like, yeah, yours fell off the truck, so you're getting another one of this one's going to scrap. That sucks. I would totally buy this too. I would totally do it. Even though I hate the front end.
Well, the thing is, they'll probably put a salvage title on it. 16 miles.
Right, 16-mile salvage car. It's already got a thing here. That's what it's in limp mode.
Is it?
Yeah, here it says carefully drive to the closest service center. Restraint system is lit up on here.
That's crazy. Wow.
That sucks. That's wild. That car is way too new for that. I'm going to check the chat here real quick.
Copart definitely has Hellcats.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm going to pop this over here so I can monitor the chat without moving this around.
We actually saw a Scat Pack when we went to go pick up my car.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's not entirely surprising, considering how people drive them out here, but...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a whole different... There's another G80. What's wrong with this one? It's a flood car. That sucks, too. Oh, Florida. This one was that recent hurricane. It looks like it's fine. Why is it totaled? There's not even a light on the dash. It's got 5,000 miles on it.
Yeah, I need to do a throttle body relearn. That's what everybody's saying. Throttle body, clean your throttle body.
Nothing sounds like too bad. Let's see. Are there any that are actively getting auctioned off? So, question: since you've done this twice now, do you need to have like any
I've
sort
done
of
this more than twice.
really?
Yeah.
Well, on your old Maxima off of here.
No, I mean we got my dad's SRT8 charger off of Copart.
Mm-hmm.
We got my brother's RT charger off of Copart. My grandma's Nissan Murano we got off of Copart. We got Chase's Kia Forte when he had the coupe, the first gen.
Mm-hmm.
We got that off of Copart, and then we got my two cars off of Copart.
Yeah.
So we're no stranger to it.
So, how hard is it to get a car off Copart? Is it fairly simple?
It's really easy.
So you don't have to have like special stuff. You can just sign up.
If you're bidding in our state, then you can bid without having any type of license, but you can only bid on salvage title cars. If you want a car with a clean title, then you have to have a dealer. And my neighbor, he buys and resells off of Copart, and he's a dealer. So we use him when we want to buy cars with clean titles.
Right.
The thing about the thing about clean title cars is a lot of them that you see on Copart have some sort of underlying issue, whether it be like something mechanical
or electrical or some
or electrical. Yeah, like they have some sort of issue.
or they're lemon law
Nine times
cars.
out of 10. Something like that. Yep. So you just got to be careful. That's the only good thing about salvage title cars on here is that like the car was just wrecked.
Right.
And that's what it's there for. If you see a nice car and it says minor dents and scratches, clean title, there's definitely something else. 9 times out of 10, there's something else going on with it. Like
Right.
the car's about to blow or whatever.
Right. I'm trying to see, because I would not mind getting like an E90 M3 off of something like this, because that would be a fun car to have. And I mean, the V8 would be a unique experience that I wouldn't have in the GTI stuff. And that's kind of what I'm looking for, is I want something that's like the polar opposite of the GTI. And that's why I wouldn't get a Speed, is the Speed is too similar to it.
Lame.
I know. I'll be the one guy that doesn't own one of
That's
the
okay when me, Michael, and Hayden pull up in the Speeds and you're feeling left out because you're in a GTI.
That's fine. It's fine. I'm happy with my car. Let's see. There's an E90 right here, but there's no. And the estimated retail is 13. So I mean, judging by what you said, going half of estimated retail. I mean, that's what, 7, almost a little under 7. It's manual too. Check that out. I think it looks like a stick shift. It doesn't look. Yeah, that's definitely stick. Where's the damage at? It just looks like maybe the shocks are blown out. Those wheels gotta go though. I do not like those wheels. I feel like it's a wrap. No, it's paint. Wow, okay. That's an actual blue E90. Oh, well, there it is. I want to see right there on the back bumper. And that badge is wrecked. It's got the red interior, too. Bold move. Bold move. No one does red interiors anymore. Only thing that sucks is these things are so unreliable. M3s in general are unreliable. I have learned that they are just some of the most unreliable sports cars. They just break so easily. Abiter says we should see if there's a particular yellow P1 on here. I believe it is. I believe the McLaren P1 that went viral online is on here. Let's see. We're going to look more specifically at McLaren. Apparently it's not on here. I think it's on a different auction site. How much, though? Could I get a 12C for? Because I love the 12C. Probably still way too expensive and unreasonably expensive as it sits. What do you think? What do you think, Ron? What other cool cars that are like typically European would be a fun one?
Shoot, I don't know. Something affordable.
I think a B8 S4, the supercharged V6, would be a good option here, because those are already fairly cheap as they sit. Like when they're running, they're like 13, 14 grand. So I can imagine one that's busted probably is also fairly cheap. But let's do this here, manual, and yeah, this one's estimated retail is 19,000. So assuming that would be around 8,000 or so. This one's estimated 15. This one's estimated 13,000. Oh, this guy. What about you? It says side damage. Oh, what do you think? You think that'd be fixable?
Let me see it.
I don't know if you can see on the stream.
Oh, it's just taking a second.
That
does.
It is a unibody car.
It could be fixed. Yes.
That's the issue. It's unibody. So
that's like the same damage on the Z.
Yeah.
The Nismo.
Question is, would that be fixable enough to pass state inspection?
Yeah. Shoot, I know some guy over here that this Hispanic Mexican guy. He'll bondo that stuff up. You'd never know. It would look OEM.
I would have to hit him up. But check that out.
Yeah.
Stick shift.
Yeah, your next car has to be manual. Come on.
I've already decided on that. I mean, I'm with you on that.
Like you have an automatic and then you have a manual.
Like I said, the whole point is to be completely different. I want this car to be a completely different experience. Well, I've debated getting a 5-cylinder Beetle and doing like the built motor, putting a turbo on it, and having like kind of like the RS3's redneck cousin, like the RS3's Alabama cousin, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that even that's too similar to my car because it's almost on the same chassis. I mean, it would be different because it'd be a 5-cylinder, but A-Bitter says the Alpha 4C. I doubt that'll be affordable, but we'll look. We'll look for the heck of it. Ron, you know what an Alfa Romeo 4C is, right?
I have to see it.
It's a little mid-engine guy. It's going up on stream here momentarily.
Oh, I've seen those.
So yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those. Mm-hmm.
It is a flood car from Florida. I bet that's going to cost a fortune. I mean, it's a carbon fiber monocoque car. I mean, that's going to cost a fortune. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, there's mold in it. Oh no. Oh.
Is it a flood car?
Yeah, a flood from Florida, so it's probably hurricane car.
Punta Gorda? Yep, Punta Gorda. Yep.
Got hurricane.
Oh, they have so many flood cars there. It's insane.
There's one in Birmingham. Oh, I bet that's expensive to fix. I don't know if I'd want to touch that. That car guy in the chat, I haven't seen you in here in a while, boy. What you been doing? He's another long-time subscriber. We're scouring Copart for project cars that I won't be able to buy right now, but we'll be buying in the future probably. What's another fun one? I need another fun Euro car that's affordable and manual. That comes in manual, so I don't have to swap it. Theoretically. What if there's some... No, Mercedes never really did a lot of AMG cars in manual. Dealing with insurance after an accident. That sucks, dude. Hopefully all it goes well. We'll buy your car off of Copart, maybe. If it gets totaled. Right, Ron? I don't know what he drives. I think he drives a Civic. Be kind of cool.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of, just for the heck of it, even though, like I said, if I'm not going to buy Speed, I'm not going to buy a Type R off of Copart. But we'll see. There's a
I want to know what freaking turbo
That is surprising how many of them are on here. Mini Cooper S. I would honestly, again, that's too similar to the GTI. I feel like if that's a car that if I didn't already have the GTI, I'd strongly consider one as a Copart build. But outside of that, you will not see me on a Mini because they are so unreliable. I actually wanted one for the longest time before I got a GTI. I was looking at getting that Mark 6 last year. I was cross-shopping Cooper S's, but then I researched the R56 and found out how bad of a generation that car was and how unreliable it was, and I was like, no. There's a reason they're so cheap. Honda's been having issues with their CMBS and sudden braking happens. That is terrifying. That is very terrifying. I would not like imagine your car just braking out of nowhere on you. That'd be terrifying. Yeah, nah. I'm curious now. Ron might like this one I'm putting up on screen. Wow, there's a lot more than I thought there'd be on here. It's a lot more than I thought there'd be on here. Ron, how much does this hurt your heart to see all these?
Veloster ends.
Yep. There's a lot
I mean,
more than I thought there would be on here.
It doesn't surprise me.
Wait, what?
It doesn't surprise me. Oh, look, there's one right there in South.
South Atlanta? Where's it at?
Yeah.
Oh, this one right here?
That's where I got
Your
got
speed?
the speed.
It looks
Click on it. I
rough.
want to see what it looks. Yeah, it's
Why has it
taking
got a
second.
hole in the door? What in the world? It's a perfectly cut hole in the door. Someone's been snagging parts off of it, you can tell.
Yeah. They steal. That's the thing about buying a Copart car. Like, they steal.
Parts off of them. But what's
Yeah.
with this hole in the door?
That's so weird.
And the entire front end's gone. So, I mean, oh, crash bar doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, but there's. With that car, there's no getting that back. I mean, you can,
it's
but
done?
it's going to be a lot.
You think it's
Yeah.
you think it's just not worth it?
Mm-mm.
You think it'd be better just to get one that runs at that point?
I think it's better to get one with just, like, minimal front end damage.
Right. And I feel that's gonna be
Even if an airbag goes out on the steering wheel, that's easily fixable. Now, when the curtain airbags come out, that's when it's kind of a pain.
right.
Like the side curtains or whatever.
That one looks like it's got too much. That one's got nothing on the front of it anymore. What about you? Apparently it's front end damage. Oh yeah, that's pretty. That's good. That's a good smack. That's a good smack right there. Ripperonis and cheese to this one.
That one,
I think this one would be salvageable, but I mean it definitely doesn't look fun.
no. The airbags come out.
Does not appear. Oh, yep, steering wheel. Steering wheel did, but it looked like the curtains did. Which is weird considering the impact location. You would think that'd be a curtain deploy. Right
Yeah.
there. But it doesn't look like the curtain's deployed on it. I'm gonna bet this sucker is gonna sell for a lot. Bill of sale. So this
Probably will, 'cause
doesn't even have a title.
it says bill of sale, so that one means you can't. I mean, there's a way to get the title. Oh my god, it only has 8,000 miles.
That's but it's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
I'm really curious now. I'm gonna look up 8-bitter suggestion after this of the F type, but fucking type. I freaking.
How do you know which?
In lines. I'm not trying to find in lines. I'm trying to find the legit boy. Wow, there's a surprisingly large amount on here. Looks like most of them are flood. There's 2 floods. Now, fun fact for those that are seeing these cars, I cross-shop these with the GTI. And if they weren't marked up so bad, and they were a little bit cheaper from factory, I would have bought one. The Elantra N.
Oh yeah.
Because the only thing that kept me from getting the Veloster outside of the price, because getting a DCT is so hard, is the rear visibility wasn't really something I was terribly crazy about. And that's not saying that it's bad, but I just like having a really big rear window. And with the Veloster's kind of more sporty coupe design, it doesn't have like a really large rear window. I mean, you know. So I was like, the Elantra would fit more of my style. Again, plus I'm more of a sedan guy, which is ironic considering I bought a Golf. So I was like, the Elantra fit what I was looking for more. But they were marked up bad. And this one's automatic and is, you know, granted at the time when I was looking, this would have been a bad choice. It's a good bit of Elantra. There's definitely a lot of Veloster ends. I think that'd be a fun Copart car if you didn't already have one.
Yeah.
Get a second one.
I'll be right back.
Okay. F-types. There's a lot of F-types on here. That's kind of surprising. Question is, any manual ones? With 3 out of 209. I got a vert. And I want to bet none of these. That's an F-Pace. Why is there an F-Pace in here? We got this one here, which is a V6. Well, I bet it's probably the supercharged one. If it's got it looks like that is an S badge. Let me see. Maybe it looks more like the R badge, but that wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, there's a 6-speed. Look at that. Check that out. The only thing I hate is a vert. I can't do verts. I can't do verts with that. What about an ND Miata? That'd be cool. I know I said Euro, but I could do a vert. I can do a Miata vert. I'm not doing a NA, though. NAs are so overdone now. I love NAs, but they're so overdone. Let's see. Year. What year did the ND come out? I think that was 2015. We'll start at 15. There's actually a surprising amount of them on here. The question is how many of these would be salvageable? This one is toast. This is like done for, and that's disgusting. This one's done for. That sucks. I would not mind an ND though. This would be a fun car. Granted, I think honestly the issue is the Abarth 124 Spider exists and it's on the same chassis, but it's got the turbo motor, which the Mazda doesn't have, and that sucks. And I think that most of these are going to sell for a rather large amount of money. I think that getting a ND that's below 10 is going to be impossible. And I know the NC exists, but, 718 I think would be impossible to get for under 10, but I think the Cayman in general, a Cayman could be had for under 10 on Copart. Oh yeah, all day. I'm sure some of these will fall under that 10 grand area. Let's see here. Like this one's 12. Buy it now price. It is a run and drive salvage car. Oh, it's gutted. Partially gutted. And I mean, this could be I don't know about this. That sucks. I don't think a 718 in particular. There's a GT4. What? Crashed toys? What does that mean? Oh. This would be cool. I'd love to have a GT4. Man, that interior too, man. Come on. I wish. It is tore up from the floor up, but I would love to have one. This would be such a fun car. I would love to have a 718. Or just a GT4. No, this isn't an MSA, the 718. I'll tell you about a project I had in mind. For a brief minute, I wanted to get an old 944 and do an NA2J build. So like built bottom ends, ITBs, the whole 9 yards. Issue is it would have made barely 300 horsepower. And that's a lot of money for a built motor that's not going to make any power whatsoever. Which is what got me thinking about E46 M3s, but those are not terribly cheap and they're horribly unreliable. They blow up every time you look at them funny. Like M3s are, like I said earlier, just horribly unreliable cars. You cannot have fun with an M3. Make sure it's reliable. Sounds like the G80s are pretty alright, but I think that the F80s and lower just all have reliability trouble. I will say, a car that I would consider as a project car very quickly, 135i. Tell me why I just seen a non-repairable Ferrari 812 with a $129,000 bid. People are wild. People are wild. Why is this 135 estimated retail at $28,000? Ain't no way. It's an automatic vert. It is not worth that much. I think, it's an N55 too. Depends how you feel about that motor. Honestly, though, I wouldn't mind the N55. What about you? What about this guy right here? Rear end damage. Please don't be destroyed. Not too bad. It looks like it just needs a bumper and a trunk, and she'll be good to go. Yeah, that don't even look bad. I don't see... Yep, there it is. A stick, too. That's something that if I got a 135i, I would need. It's an N54 car. I know this brand is crap, but what about the Maserati Gran Turismo? I would not mind it. I think the issue is finding a stick one. I think that's just practically impossible at this point. I think that's a lot to ask. I would not mind a 135i though. I've always liked this shape of BMW, and I think that a N54 would be kind of fun just to change things up. Even though I know they're dumpster fires to keep running. As long as you stay twins, though, I think it's fine. I think it's when you go single in these cars that they just completely fall apart and you can't go nuts in an N54. I think the best way to do N54 is reliably and easy is twins, doing better twins, doing pure upgraded twins. I'm gonna keep this one in mind. Actually, I'm not because I can't buy any of these anyway. What's another one that'd be fun? Like a really fun manual car one day to look into. I'll look at Gran Turismo. So let's see. Let's just out of curiosity. How about a 2018 Grand Momentum? Whatever the heck this is. These are RVs. I look at Maserati and I get freaking trailers. What the heck? Ew, Ghiblis. I hate Ghiblis. There we go. Here's some fire. I love how these cars sound. They are so unreliable and so junky. Like, I can't with the Maseratis. They're so bad. Estimated retail value of $80,000. Yeah, no. Not 80. I don't even think they're worth that new, in my opinion. But this one's kind of interesting looking. What we got? It's a very. That's a camo wrap. That's a wrap. It's definitely a wrap. Don't like it, but it's there. I don't think these came in stick. That is an issue. I trade my current Civic, but it's going to go down in value. Might be fun to get a new Type R. The new Type R is very nice. I like the 11th Gen Type R. Now, where did Ron run off to? He left me over here. Let's see. But yeah, those are all the Copart finds we've got here. I think we're going to pop back over here to myself over here. I have lost track of where everything is. There we go. But yeah, I would not be opposed to getting an 11th Gen Type R. I think that would be a fun car one day. But I like my GTI too much to consider trading it in. Even though I won't lie, the Golf R 20th anniversary has me tempted. You all know I tried to get a Mark 8R before I got my car, and it didn't quite work out. So I wouldn't mind it. I would not mind it one bit. But I like my GTI too much, despite the fact that I'm constantly worried about it going into limp mode right now. But I'm hoping swapping out the coil packs and getting on a proper tune with EQT will eliminate all those issues in general. If not, I got some work to do, but we'll figure it out. Like I've said before early on in the stream, I think that my limp mode woes are entirely related to just some really minute thing that is going on in that car. And it's just like the Sport Track's misfire that it had for so long that I could not find, and then out of nowhere it was fine. I definitely think that's just how this is going to go. I'm going to be hunting for it, and then I'm going to replace one thing on a whim or mess with something on a whim, and it's going to be perfectly fine. And it's never going to do it again. Once the Mustang is paid for, I might have to get the 2024 Mustang. Do it. Why not? Message retract. Why don't you retract your message, boy? You can't put that back. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I definitely think it's going to be some stupid crap like that. That's just, the GTI's probably got something so minute that's kicking it in limp mode. Now here's the thing, this is the first car I've ever owned that can actually go into limp mode. The Sport Track never had that capability. So, I don't know. It's definitely weird, but I think pop the factory coils back on it and get a proper retune and kind of just keep an eye on things. I am concerned about it overboosting, so I'm definitely going to keep that in mind. Like I said earlier, I'm going to I'm picking the brain of a guy on a EQT Facebook group that messes with these cars and trying to see what he thinks I should do on that. Well, like I said earlier, I pinned it. I'm pinning in the pinned comment if you guys want to follow my gaming channel and check out any sort of gaming related stuff I do. Go check that out. I've got a Gran Turismo 4 Let's Play on there. I started the Pokemon Let's Play, but never finished it, and all that kind of stuff. Another shameless plug for my gaming channel. I'm going to post some stuff on my Steam Deck, too, once that shows up. Apparently, it's showing up on Sunday. I doubt it, but we'll see. And a little bit, I'm going to do something for you guys that are watching the stream that is an exclusive first look into the cosmetic mod that I've been keeping a secret from you guys. All my friends know now, so they all know. Ron knows. Which, of course, he's not here right now to chat, so I don't know where he went. But we're going to pull up what I bought. And, yeah, you guys are going to get a first look. And you guys will see it on the car probably sometime next week, because I think they're showing up sometime next week. Let me find my OBS real quick, and we'll pop over here. Ta-da! Here we go. So I picked up a set of new taillights for the car. I don't like the factory red ones. I think they're hideous, and I wanted to do something unique and different. So I got these from Euroactive Retrofits over in Australia. They're going to be coming in sometime next week, and that is the secret cosmetic mod for the car that you guys will see sometime soon. The TLX Type S seems underpowered, TBH. I feel bad because that car is so good. I feel like Acura had such a good push with that car. But I think the execution was just a little bit off. I think it definitely needs a little bit of extra bump. But I think in terms of most of Acura and Honda's performance cars nowadays, they really don't. They're always kind of under the radar in terms of power in particular, compared to their rivals. I mean, obviously the Civic Type R is kind of the lone exception to that because, I mean, it does challenge the Golf R's horsepower now. The Golf R challenges it now. I mean, it did have almost the most horsepower out of all the hot hatches for a minute. And the Focus RS was the only one that had more power because the Focus RS made 350. Those are sick. I love the Eurospec lights. Thank you. I do too. That's why I picked them out. I really wanted to change it up and get a more European look on the car. Because I'm kind of mad that we got duped and got some crappy taillights here in the U.S. I'm not crazy about that car's lighting at all, so I'm very happy to get rid of it. I got the black lens with the clear internals just because that's just more my thing. Thankfully, I don't have to code them. They just kind of show up, and I plug them in, and we're good to go. But they were supposed to technically ship out yesterday, but I have no info where they are. They said they were coded up and ready to go, and they would be shipped yesterday, but never got any sort of update on that, so I have no clue where they are, if they're coming in at all through tracking. So I'll hopefully see them sometime next week alongside my tune, which is I'm honestly just as excited about. Thankfully, it doesn't look like it'll be too bad to get the old tune off of it. It might suck a little bit, but we'll figure it out. I'm thinking of getting the 1314 tails for my car because I'm not a fan of the candy corn tails in the 1012. Definitely do it. It's expensive. It's a very expensive swap, and you have to get the little piece that goes underneath them to fill the gap in, but worth it. They look great. My Civic has the NA20 and stock is sluggish. I'm hoping to tune it with an Intake to get some decent power. I would definitely look into it because I think there are definitely companies out there that do that kind of stuff. I mean, people tune Fusions. I mean, Liver Noise tunes the Fusion EcoBoost, which I have been trying to convince my brother to do because he has an EcoBoost Fusion, but he hasn't bid it yet. I think that'll probably get I'll probably get it some pretty solid numbers. I think that'd be kind of fun. I'd do it. I'd look into it. Let's see. I'm gonna look for you right now. Let's see what we got. If we can get a yours is 10th gen, right? I think it's 10th gen. So I think I've seen like a couple of pictures you posted on it. 10th gen Civic 2.0 tune. So we got, yeah, K-Tuner. K-Tuner tunes them. And you can do all that stuff, yeah. I can post a link here on the chat, or if you want to message me on Instagram, I can send it to you. But yeah, K-Tuner tunes these things. I believe that's a good name. It looks like there's a company called Civic X that tunes them as well. There's a company called M Force that tunes them. K20C2 believes the engine. K20C2 is the Type R motor. I think it's probably a different K20 though. I'll look it up for you though. You had a You had the K20. Oh no, it is the K20C2. How about that? Yeah, you're right. I was wrong. It's the K20C1. That's the turbo. That's confusing. Honda, come on, guys. Gotta confuse me. K20C1 is the turbo motor in the Type R. The C2 is the NA motor. I just weird though. Why would they give it the C moniker? That's interesting. That is kind of odd, but I don't know. That's weird. It's typically the C moniker is only for the performance models, so that's kind of interesting to see. But yeah, I mean, it looks like there's a plenty of tunes you can do with those. Oh yeah, you got plenty. You've got plenty, and there's actually a lot of people trying to figure out how to boost them. So that'd be kind of cool. Boosted K20C2s. Yeah, there was your first look into what I'm doing on the car. I don't know when Ron's going to come back to help me close this out. Looks like he has managed to be away so long that his is actually showing him away. I'm trying to tune it. That's if my Civic isn't considered a total loss. In the event it is, are you going to get a Type R? Or an SI? Because they're both really cool. Especially the Type R. But, you know, the SI is cool. I like the SI. The 1.5T is slept on. I think that's a really solid engine that needs to get more love. Let's see. I test drove a 22 SI Sonic Gray, the HBD package, and it's a beauty. I like those. I really do. I would have considered getting one. I think that would be a really good choice. If in the event that your car is a total loss, definitely get it. Sharp handling and good power, but the next gen Type R definitely caught my eye. I'm with you. It's definitely caught my eye too. It's just they are a little bit outside of my price bracket that I was okay with spending on a car. So that's part of why I didn't get one. Of course, I'm sure they're going to get marked up to crap. And I don't really want to spend that much money. Ironic considering I bought a GTI and those are fairly expensive. Trying to goof off in here at the same time. It's not really working for me. But, alright, this stream's been going on for 2 hours. I think it's probably about time to wrap things up. I've got a pretty bad headache, and I'm waiting on Ron to come back. But, yeah, hope you all enjoyed this stream. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content coming soon. It was really fun getting to do this again. I know it was kind of last second. I kind of did this out of nowhere. And, you know, I kind of like surprising you guys with random streams like this. I just got those picks. I'll check them out. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll do these. I'm trying to do these more often with you guys, so just hang out with you guys and chat with you guys. It's been a while since I've gotten to really do that. So anyway, you guys, I'm gonna head to bed. It's already almost midnight here, and I've got a headache and all that fun stuff. And I'm gonna talk to Ron once he gets back here for a little while before I go to bed. But you know, anyway, hope you all enjoyed. See you guys later. Take care. Have a fantastic weekend. Hopefully, I'll have some new videos coming for you guys next week and the week after. Take care, guys. Have a great day or night, wherever you are.